Well, we are running late and a squirrel darted across the road. Okay.
Okay.
Instead of taking 2 microseconds to just like turn your tires to miss the squirrel, you just ran straight over it.
I don't remember that.
You did.
I don't remember
And
that.
I swear to you, that whole day, I was like, I am married to Ted Bundy. Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Speaking of running over things.
Okay.
School buses.
Yeah. Okay. What about them?
Like putting the arm out.
What?
I don't know, but it makes me want to rage.
It makes you want to rage
Yes.
when they stop and let the kids off the bus?
When they make everyone else stop. Okay, so we are going to talk about pet peeves. I know everyone has them, and we figured it would be fun to dive into some of ours, things that really tick us off, and you guys drop in the comments what yours are. Yeah, so we'll get started, and we'll just get rolling. Okay, my first one literally drives me insane. Okay. The way you roll over in the bed.
Okay.
Would you like to describe it?
I don't know. Probably because I'm asleep.
No. You're awake.
Okay. No, I don't.
You're laying on your back.
Okay.
Or whatever, and you're rolling over towards your nightstand.
Okay. To get something or whatever. Okay.
Do you got anything? You know anything about what you do there?
No, not really. I don't have a clue.
So he clamps down. He like takes his arm, clamps down on the covers, and then rolls with the covers coming with you, including anything that Rachel may have sitting on top of said covers, wine glass, popcorn, all that goes flying. You don't roll under the covers. You roll intimately intertwined with the covers.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts. I can't tell you how many times popcorn has been spilled. Even if I'm holding it, sometimes you do it so aggressively.
I don't know.
That you tip the popcorn or the wine splashes or whatever because you're just like, these covers are coming with me.
I don't know. I like to be covered, I guess.
But you just like marry the covers when you roll over.
Maybe.
You conjugate.
It's nice. I like to be.
Is that the right word?
I don't know.
Consummate. You consummate your relationship with the covers when you roll over.
No, it's cold.
It's so cold. Annoying.
It's cold in the house. I like it when
But you're
cold.
rolling over, not like going to sleep. You're like rolling over to get your phone or something. And
I
you're
understand. But once
I want these covers to be sewn into my body.
Well, once I get comfortable under the covers, I like to stay that way.
Yeah, well.
And so, yeah.
At the expense of Rachel's popcorn going flying?
Sure.
If anyone experiences this with their partner or spouse, please do share. I know I'm not the only one. I can't. There's no way.
I have no idea. I don't know. I just know once I get comfortable and wrapped up, I want to keep it that way.
But you're not wrapped up. That's what I'm trying to say.
I am, though.
No. Like we're watching TV and you're just casually under the covers, not wrapped in them. Then when you go to roll over, that's when you consummate your relationship with said covers and take them with you.
I'm comfortable. That's all I know to tell you.
But you take it, like you go to second base.
How would you like me to do it?
Under the covers. You don't have to grab them.
Yeah, but then the covers may come up and I may get cold. I don't like that.
You're rolling over for a split second.
No, that's long enough for me to get cold.
Oh, come on.
It is. It's cold in here.
So Rachel's popcorn be whatever.
Yeah.
For better or worse, covers are coming with me.
Yeah, put it over to the side. That's all I know to tell you.
I'm holding it half the time.
Well, hold it up.
A lot of times you do it when it's like not predictable.
Well, keep you on your toes, I guess.
It doesn't.
That's all I know.
Spreads salt all over the bed.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, learn to roll over properly.
Okay.
I will demonstrate for you later.
Okay.
Just like he demonstrated for me the hole in men's undies.
Goodness gracious. The fact that was even a question. Holy moly.
Oh, I thought you were about to say the fact that you just said I demonstrated it.
No, but just...
That doesn't bother you that I told them you demonstrated it?
That was even a question at all.
Yeah, it was. Genuinely.
Gosh.
I kind of knew that's what it was for, but the concept of it getting stuck or like scratched on the zipper still just really, really just confuses me. It seems like a dangerous activity.
That went really down the rabbit hole there because we went from rolling in the covers to...
Diagnosed ADD.
Goodness
I'm using that.
Okay.
My turn. No, your turn. I'm just so eager to read mine. No, I did. Rolling over in the covers.
Do you not want to go again and then I'll go after?
No?
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so I don't have very many that really annoys me, I think, with you. My big one, though, is you're okay with being late. It drives me up the wall. And throughout the years, like, it
depends on where I'm late.
Well, that's the problem.
It's not
selective.
everything.
It's the problem. It's selectively being late. And I hate being late, like, period. I'm just not a person that enjoys that. Being late stresses me out.
Okay, I'm not okay with being late. Let me explain.
Okay.
I don't get crazy about it. Like, you get like a lot over the top. Like, perfect example. Okay, I'm about to out you here.
Mm-hmm.
We were running late to work one time when we were sharing a car. Do you know what story I'm about to tell?
How many years ago was this?
I don't care. I'm about to tell it. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
No, I
okay.
don't.
Well, you might know when I tell it. But we are running late and sharing a car. And we're driving a cut through a neighborhood to get to work.
Uh-huh.
And this is when we lived in Alabama. And a squirrel darted across the road. Okay?
Okay.
You don't remember this?
No.
You, instead of taking 2 microseconds to just like turn your tires to miss the squirrel, you just ran straight over it.
I don't remember that.
You did.
I don't remember
And
that.
I swear to you, that whole day, I was like, I am married to Ted Bundy. It was so disturbing.
Well, it should have stopped.
No, you should have swerved to miss the innocent creature that just crossed the road.
Well, you know what would have happened, right?
You were so worried about getting to work on time that you were willing to kill an animal.
You know what would have happened, though?
What does that say about you?
If you would have been earlier, that squirrel would have been gone.
First of all, neither one of us have any idea why we were running late that day. Let's be clear.
I don't know. My point is, had I had time...
Do you think, in hindsight, as 30-something-year-old Stephen, however old you are, I forget, 38, do you think it was okay to do that?
If I'm running late and I'm in a neighborhood, heck yeah, I do not care.
You're going to get hate.
It's a squirrel.
You're going to get hate.
Okay, it's a squirrel.
It's an innocent animal.
It's a squirrel.
It's cute.
It's a squirrel.
You murdered it.
It's a squirrel. I didn't murder it. It's not like I turned my tires into it. It just ran.
You kind of like did. I mean,
no, I didn't.
But you could have turned your tires away from it. And arguably, yeah, no, you could have. I was very angry. In fact, I think we fought like the whole way to work.
I have no idea.
But arguably, it wouldn't have cost you time at all to turn your tires to miss it. You don't remember, so how can you say?
And don't forget too. Don't forget that one time where I ended up running into somebody.
I wasn't even in the car.
No. I'm talking about later on. This is
what does that have to do with it?
This is another reason.
Did you do that on purpose too? No, because you were running late, so you were.
Squirrels annoy me. It was raining.
So that's the real reason, right there. You saw an opportunity to kill an animal.
No, I just remember this story too, and I don't remember if it was after or before. I think it may have been before this happened. But literally, I was a couple cars behind somebody, and I was headed to work.
Oh, yeah. They stopped for a squirrel.
And they slammed on their brakes for a squirrel.
I agree with their decision.
And it ended up causing a pileup. And I'm like,
no one was hurt?
Nope. Our car was.
I don't care. The animal survived.
Ooh, man. Goodness gracious. I'm going to have to breathe for a second.
Y'all are going like, let's be clear. If it was like, if y'all were going at a speed where humans could actually be endangered, that would be different. But y'all were going slow. It was traffic and someone slammed on their brake for a squirrel. Number one, I would say don't follow so close. Number two, I'm really glad the squirrel survived.
I wasn't following that.
I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about people in general. If they're not following that close, then slamming on the brakes won't matter. Don't you remember driver's ed? You're supposed to stay like however many car lengths back.
Yeah. And it was raining and slippery, and I did. And I can't remember at the time if
I'm just really glad the squirrel made it.
Yeah, okay.
I am.
Okay.
Seriously.
However many hundreds of dollars worth of car repairs it took.
Sorry, State Farm.
So.
State Farm supports
That's
squirrels.
why I don't care.
State Farm supports
That's why I don't
squirrels.
care. I'm going to do what I have to do to keep the vehicle something from happening.
Well, you didn't have to hit the squirrel.
Squirrel could have moved.
No.
Yeah.
The only time I have hit an animal intentionally was when I was in the car on my way to Atlanta, and we had a Honda Civic Si, very low to the ground. I was on the interstate. I was, I think I had cruise control on at like 76 miles per hour, 75. And Ariana was little, and she was in the back. And to this day, I don't know if it was a fawn, like a baby deer, or a coyote, or whatever, but it darted out so fast. Had I not hit it, I would have flipped our car. Like, had I swerved. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it like it was
Yeah.
intending on ending its life.
I
And
remember that. I just don't remember. You were going to Atlanta for what? Didn't your sister used to
she
live there or
lived.
something?
She didn't live in Atlanta, but she lived in Georgia. So I guess I should say I was on my way to Georgia.
Yeah.
But for me, when something like that happens, time slows down, so I'm able to kind of like think through steps. And I remember thinking, you've got to go over it because you can't slam on your brakes going this fast, because then you'll fishtail, and that's when people flip or swerve and flip your car.
There, somebody else behind you would have hit you.
Well, there was no one behind me. It was dark and it was nighttime. But I mean, it would probably be pretty hard to flip a Honda Civic Si, maybe. I don't know. But that was the only time. And I was very sad for it. However,
But you did it.
Well, I had to.
So don't say nothing about me.
If Ariana wasn't in the car, I would have.
Squirrel.
If Ariana wasn't in the car, I would have wrecked it to save its life. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I don't value animals over people. I do not.
Woof. Okay.
But my intentional hitting of an animal is very different than yours.
Uh-huh.
I'm the girl that stopped.
I don't do it intentionally. I just don't care.
You did
I just don't care. I don't care.
It was borderline intentional.
It wasn't. I just don't care.
I'm the one that stops and gets turtles out of the middle of the road.
Yeah, it's not going to stop me from getting where I need to go.
I know you'd run over the turtle.
Not really. Turtles are so slow, I can go around them.
You could have gone around the squirrel.
Not that one.
Oh, good grief. Let's move on here. No, let's move on. Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Speaking of running over things.
Okay.
School buses.
Yeah. Okay. What about them?
Like putting the arm out?
What?
I don't know, but it makes me want to rage.
It makes you want to rage
Yes.
when they stop and let the kids off the bus?
When they make everyone else stop.
So you're angry that the school bus stops for kids, but okay.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'm angry.
Okay.
I'm angry that the traffic has to stop.
What do you expect them to do?
Let everyone keep going.
Just let everyone keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
kids, to be careful.
What do you want the lady to do? Just kick them off as she's like rolling down there? Like,
no, the kids wait and cross the road like normal children from the 90s. Do you remember when they enacted that?
gosh,
We were kids.
something like that. I don't know.
I think a kid got hit and that's what started it.
I don't know. I just remember when buses slow down and that little arm comes out.
But it didn't always.
Stop.
Did you ride the bus every day?
Until I drove, yeah.
Did it always when you were like little? Do you remember the arm coming out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
You may have stopped, but do you remember other cars having to stop around you?
I do remember that part because I remember that when I was still on the bus one time, there was...
I think you're wrong.
No, I'm just telling you what I remember. There was a kid that would, like, started driving, and he thought he was all that, and he ended up, when the bus was stopped, he flew past a bus one time, and I remember him getting in major trouble.
Okay, well, I'm about to ask chat when that started.
I have no idea.
Hey there, Rachel.
Hi.
Hey, it's good to hear from you. What's on your mind today?
Goodness gracious.
I am curious, when did school buses start having to be required to put out the stop sign arm and traffic was required to then stop on both sides of the bus?
The idea of requiring traffic to stop for school buses is older, but the physical stop arm became more standardized in the US around the 1970s.
Oh.
Regulations vary by state, but
There
by the
you go.
late 1970s and early 1980s...
All right, let's keep
Wait,
going.
hold on. What about North Carolina? When was that law started? Searching the web.
We're going to lose people. This
is fascinating.
This is not to you. It is not to them.
You just messed it up. Okay, I'll move on. Either way,
Thank
I thought
you.
I swore I could have sworn I remembered it.
Okay, well,
But
you
no,
were wrong.
I don't like it. It bothers me.
Okay.
It actually makes me angry.
Okay.
Rational or irrational, to be determined.
I got nothing. I don't know what else to tell you on that one.
The follow-up from the squirrel to that was perfect.
Yeah,
Could
well.
not have timed that. That was not intentional, but that was hilarious.
Okay.
It makes me so angry.
Okay. It's interesting.
To the point where there's a bus in this general area that when it gets to an intersection, so like there's like a road going this way and then there's a road going that way, and it drops kids off at the corner. And instead of going down this road to then go to a cul-de-sac and turn around, it actually backs up. But what it does is, number one, it doesn't have its stop sign out. It's backing up. It's already dropped off kids. Let me be clear. The kids have been dropped off and are like basically behind the bus, and it backs up.
What do you mean behind the bus?
They are walking around the bus, and this lady starts backing up while they're still walking. And one time, it was done dropping kids off, and the arm was not out. So I went to go like down that road, and she laid on her horn at me. Like, how dare you not know I'm about to reverse a school bus after I just dropped children off. So I reported her.
You would.
Yeah, and you know what? I wasn't the only one. The director of transportation told me that they've received another report.
Interesting.
Yeah. I did say it was for the safety of the children I was worried about.
Well, what you just said 5 minutes ago,
it's both.
Completely not right.
No.
But that's okay, too.
No, I am genuinely worried about the safety of the children. It's both.
Okay.
But I just am really tired of her backing up like she owns the place.
Uh-huh.
Because it's not a legal maneuver.
Okay.
He did tell me they're allowed to back up only with the children still in the bus.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, we'll see if it fixes it. I don't know.
I don't know, but I have not run into it recently because we keep missing it. But anyway, we'll move on.
My turn, right? Or is it yours?
Yes, your turn.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. This one drives me nuts. It's while you
Oh boy.
and your daughter cook, you don't
She's
clean
your daughter
up.
too.
Yeah. Y'all don't clean up as you're cooking. It
That's not
drives
true.
me up the wall.
First of all, I don't cook right now.
Right. I know. I'm talking about in the
Previously
past.
when I did.
Yeah. And she does the same thing.
Well,
Cooks,
you know what, babe?
And you don't
We're
clean
both
it while you're
ADD.
cooking.
We're both ADD.
So cook while you clean.
I don't think about it. Doesn't cross my
Why?
mind. I don't know. Ask my ADD brain.
God, it just
It made no sense. I have no idea.
It just solves so many problems.
I think because if I'm cooking something complicated like chicken parmesan or something, there's so many moving parts to this. Like you've got your pasta, you've got your sauce, you've got your chicken, you're like frying the chicken, you're whatever. I don't have time.
What do you mean you don't have time? I cook complicated stuff and I throw my stuff away as I'm doing it.
No.
I do.
will give you a very complicated recipe and we'll see how well you keep up.
It's fine.
Okay.
Do each ingredient at a time.
You want to let's do that challenge and we'll film it and we'll put it on TikTok.
Okay.
We'll see how well you do.
Easy for me. I'll do it.
Once Hot Mess Express gets in here and helps us with this house. Because
Wow.
I'm not putting that on TikTok before.
Well, I'll
It's
pass that
disgusting.
with flying colors. It ain't difficult.
I think you'll fail.
Okay.
Can I go next?
Sure.
My whisker.
Your what?
My whisker.
What is that?
I have one whisker.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Like,
I have one whisker on my face.
Okay.
Like an actual whisker, like a man whisker, one.
Okay.
I think every woman pretty much has it.
Okay.
Or has one.
Okay.
It's pretty normal. But it's right here.
Okay.
I plucked her today, actually.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, she won't die.
Well,
And it's just annoying. Like, why do I have to have one random man whisker on my chin?
I've never noticed it. So
Well,
it's
'cause I
obviously
pluck it.
not been,
I pluck it.
well,
And it won't go away. It keeps coming back.
how long will it get?
I am not letting it grow
Well, I
long.
want to see.
No,
Now I'm curious.
no.
Yeah, now I'm curious.
It's gone right now, so it'll be a couple weeks before I can even feel it again.
Hmm.
It's really slow growing. It's not
Well,
like
that's good.
it's not like a man whisker where like, well, I guess it depends on the man, but like where it would potentially be back like within a day or two, right? Is that how yours work?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, you shave them, not pluck them.
Mm-hmm.
I will pluck a couple on your face later with tweezers, and then we'll see how long it takes them to come back.
It's fine. I'm sure.
Will you let me do that?
Probably. Maybe. Depends on which ones they are.
Depends on if you get coitus afterwards.
If they actually need to be.
You didn't hear what I said, did you?
I heard you. I just didn't respond to it.
You just chose to ignore me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that wasn't very nice.
Well,
I'm
I
not
heard
letting it grow to full length.
why? I want to see. I'm curious.
No.
I'm curious.
Are you telling me that's not going to be a major turnoff to you?
I don't know. Depends.
Or is it going to be a turn on?
It depends on how long are we talking?
Oh, so the longer, the more turned on you are?
Maybe we'll have to see. See what happens.
Okay, this is getting weird.
See what happens.
Do clarify, because I'm scared.
You're the one that
you're
that keeps
joking,
saying
right?
that. Yes, Lord. Goodness gracious.
Okay, don't say that. You're taking
Okay.
God's name in vain.
I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
All right.
No, seriously though, it drives me nuts. And when
Okay.
it's growing, and then like it's like right here, I start to feel it, and then I'm like playing with it.
Okay.
And I am like needing tweezers, but they're not always but they're not always readily available.
Okay. I don't know why not.
Well, if I'm like driving or whatever, that's like the prime time I play with my whisker.
Goodness gracious. I got nothing. I got
I
nothing.
just snorted.
You did.
Oh man.
I got nothing with that.
Just,
I've never noticed it. I don't know, but now
'cause
I'm
I pluck
curious.
it.
Now I'm gonna keep looking at it all the time.
you won't be able to find it.
Okay.
Keep it plugged.
We'll see.
I can find it because it's where I had my jaw surgery. So there's like a little bit of an overgrowth of bone right here. And that's like right where it grows.
Are you next?
Oh, you want me to move on from the whisker?
Yeah, let's do
No,
it.
I'm not next. You're next.
I'm next.
I just did whisker.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah, this one's gonna ruffle some feathers. Probably. It's not even about you. It's just in general.
Oh, great.
Victim mentality drives me crazy.
What does that mean exactly? I mean, I know what it means, but like in what context? Because there could be so many different ones.
Just means people that make excuses for the circumstances, and they don't try to better themselves. Like every single person is born into a different circumstance. Some may be worse than
Careful
others.
here.
I understand, but you have the ability though to try to make yourself better.
Sometimes.
Because in fact, I got a real good one about the therapist that I talked to this past week, and he was telling me about this. And he said there was a guy that is just a phenomenal woodworker, ended up raising a deck to try to fix something, and it fell down on top of him, and now he can't do anything.
He should have done a better job of it.
He knew better, and he didn't, but he did not allow that circumstance though to keep him from continuing to try to do what he loves and what he does best.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I think if you think about our stuff that we've been through, and if anyone here is new and doesn't know, we introduced ourselves and told the stories, but we to make a very, very long story short, in 2020, our youngest daughter was born dead but revived after 25 minutes of CPR, and has some issues from there. And then you had a stroke in October of 2024. So that was less than 5 years later. 30 days after he had a stroke, I got really, really sick. During this time, I was going through workplace, just really hostile environment, just really ugly. And then April, so this would be 5 months after that, sorry about the dogs, it is what it is. Our youngest daughter, who had to be revived, had a horrible seizure and went into status epilepticus, which is a prolonged life-threatening seizure that won't stop on its own, and almost would have died. And then many, many things that have happened that are smaller than that. So we are victims, right? But that doesn't mean that we have to let it define who we are. And that's part of the reason why we've created the podcast, because we don't want that to, I don't want to have a victim mentality.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, that kind of stuff we could have.
No, I know we're aligned on that. I was just kind of using an example.
Yeah, that's fine. All I mean is that like you have the ability with where you're at in life right now.
Within reason. I mean, there are real obstacles that people face.
I didn't say there's not. Everybody's going to be different. And that's fine. Everybody's going to have more obstacles. Just like the guy that was doing the deck. He has more challenges now to do stuff he was able to do in the past just fine.
Yeah.
But he does not let that affect him. He goes out and he does exactly what he can with what he has. And I'm not saying those situations are not bad things and sad things, because there are. There's always going to be someone that is going to be worse off than what you are.
No,
it's
yeah,
just going to
sure.
happen.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is that every day you have a choice. You can sit and say that my situation's awful. I'm just going to sit here in the bed and I'm not going to do anything. Or you can have a mindset to change it and try to make it better. And that's all I mean by that is the ones that just don't care.
But let's be careful here, because there are some times where you might need a day to sit in the bed. And I've had those days, like we've said it before, but I'll say it if anyone's new. I have PTSD, actually CPTSD, or complex PTSD, which just is basically meaning that I was exposed to trauma repeatedly, like over and over again, back to back. And then depression from everything that happened. And And there's days where I need to sit in the bed because there are days where I am feeling extremely hopeless. So now, do I stay there? No, I can't stay there. I don't allow myself to stay there because you and the kids need me to not stay there. Right. But there are times where I have those moments. And I think what I'm trying to say is if it's a moment, a week, whatever, that's fine. Some people need that. And that's part of the healing process, is to grieve and to go through some of those thoughts and feelings. But if you stay there, that's where it's a problem.
Yeah.
Like if you stay there permanently.
That's my whole point.
Yeah, yeah. I know we agree. I'm just adding some color to
That's
what
fine.
you were saying. I was trying to make it relatable for us because it was a good way of talking about how we could very easily stay there.
Yeah, I mean, it would be easy enough to do so, but it's again, you still have a choice.
Right. Someone who is severely, severely depressed, it is really hard to do anything other than wherever you're at. Like, it's really hard.
Sure, but my next question is, do you want to get help or not?
It depends on how depressed you are sometimes. I mean, I can't speak for anybody else, okay? I cannot speak for anybody but myself. So let me clarify when I said it depends or whatever. I don't know about other people. For me, yes. But in that moment specifically, not necessarily. If I'm feeling really down in that moment, I might just want to cry or to just be in my depression. But I'm talking about a moment, not a permanent mindset.
Correct. Well, that's the thing. I guess the way I look at it, like, look.
Because my therapist had asked me, I think she basically had said, if you think about this being a thing for 60 years, like, is it sustainable? And I said, I can't think about that because it would cause dark thoughts. Being like this for 60 more years, nope. So yes, of course I want to change it, and of course I want to get better because I wouldn't want to be here on this earth if it was going to stay that way. And that's dark and that's deep. And I'm going to put in the show notes some resources for anybody out there who may be struggling with depression or thoughts or whatever, because I have been at a point where I have thought, do I need to call that number? It's been bad, I've shared, with you. So there's a moment in time where that is expected and a part of the journey, so to speak. Staying there is, there's a part of it that is a choice and there's a part of it that isn't. But you have to, it is like climbing out, for me specifically, and I don't speak for other people who have depression. For me specifically, this is going to sound weird, but do you remember the movie Homeward Bound where the golden retriever fell in the hole and there's mud everywhere and he's tired and can't climb out?
Yeah, I mean, vaguely, it's been years, but yeah.
So for me specifically, it feels it feels like trying to climb out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know at one point Shadow laid down and he was like, I'm just tired. I'm too tired. So there's a point where you get to that point where you're like, I'm tired.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
And some people, I have you and the kids to make me get up and climb out. Shadow had Chance and Sassy to make him get up and climb out.
Yeah.
So, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. All I'm saying is not to take away from that, but I mean, I had a stroke.
I know what you're saying.
I had a stroke a year ago.
I know.
I could have let that define me and be, I've lost part of my brain. I can't do what I used to do. Mm-hmm. I give up. I'm not going to do this.
Right.
I have a choice.
Yeah.
I have a choice what to do at that point.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to be successful every day. I'm not saying that it's not, okay to sit there and rest and recover and take a moment. Mm-hmm. I just mean permanently, where it's like,
I think this is a good point to clarify that the ability for me to stand up and climb out is from God.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a choice and I make the choice, but God gives me the ability to make that choice.
Mm-hmm.
But there are times where I like Shadow, sit down and am tired. And it's a healing process.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes everybody's different. For me, it is a combination of a psychiatrist with medication and heavy work with a therapist. So that's all.
Well, that's fine, but that's the choice.
Yeah, it is 100%.
So
yeah.
Okay. Well, I did not want it to go down that far.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, our podcast is real. So
no,
like we've been through a lot and we can laugh and almost cry from laughing and then cry in the same podcast, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Because this is real and we want to be here for people who have been through something or haven't and just find us to be entertaining for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Am I up?
Yep.
All right. So we'll get into a lighter note here. When you try to dictate messages in the car using Siri,
Okay.
it drives me nuts because she cannot understand your Southern accent.
I can't help it.
I know, but Apple can, so they need to fix it. But like, holy moly, you will try and try and try and try again.
Yep.
And I just want peace in the car.
Well, it's better than me texting you while I'm
Or just
driving.
wait so that Rachel doesn't go crazy.
Better than texting. It's better than texting you while I'm driving.
No. I don't mean texting me. I'm like talking about if you're texting someone else.
Well, you specifically brought it up. You said so that Rachel gets peace. So
yeah, I'm talking about in a scenario where I'm sitting beside you in the passenger seat, you're driving, and you're trying to send a message to like your sister or something, and Siri has absolutely no idea what you're saying, and then you get frustrated because she gets it completely wrong.
Just change it.
Yeah, and then it still gets it wrong, and it's like.
Sometimes I just send it because it's not.
Sometimes you do, but the pet peeve is when you keep trying, because I'm like, just give up.
Well, want it right.
I know.
So I send it.
But sometimes I'm like, just give up, because like 5 attempts of you saying the same thing over and over again are going to make Rachel be not happy.
Well, I mean, you would think at some point that Apple would get.
You would think
somebody with an
Southern?
accent like that,
You
up there to learn.
Maybe you should volunteer for that.
How much you want to pay me? I'll do it. Sure.
I'm not Apple, baby. Ask them.
Sure.
I just added Apple on. Is that how you say it? Tagged Apple, added them, whatever, on a TikTok, which it got like 200 something views. So I didn't, whatever. I obviously don't expect anything to happen from it, but like, I need them to put the volume limit setting on Apple TV because of Mila. It's a setting in your phone. So you can set the volume limit. So when Mila wants to play a game on my phone, I enable that setting. And then I have it at 20%. So it only allows the volume of whatever game she's playing to be 20% of the maximum volume of the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So she can hit the volume button all she wants. And she can still hear it fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
But my ears don't explode. And they need to add that to Apple TV. Because you know how loud she plays those games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's an app for that. Maybe, who knows?
There's not, but
okay.
Anyway, that was an ADD moment on my part. But yeah, when you try to dictate messages in the car.
Okay.
Does ChatGPT understand you?
Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well.
Yep. She does fine.
Siri is far from Chat.
She does good.
Apple has a long way to go with her. Don't think they care or are trying.
I don't know.
You are up next.
Okay. Let's see what I got here. Oh, yeah. This one's just goofy. The not putting back shopping carts drives me up the wall. Like, I don't care how far it is from a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that hard.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a shopping cart, put the dadgum thing back.
John Chris just did a bit on this, which is actually really funny. So I think somebody, if I'm not mistaken, somebody sent in a video to him and said that they saw their pastor not putting a shopping cart back and wanted to know if they should leave the church.
Good grief.
It was.
I don't know about that serious, but I would definitely
He made it
go
into
up
like a
and-
whole thing, but it was hilarious.
I would definitely go up to him and say, like, what are you doing?
It was so funny the way that he, how he, like, he's funny, but like, it just reminded me of that. The only time I have not put a shopping cart back is when I didn't feel safe to do so when I had kids with me. Meaning either buckling them in their car seat and then having to like run back to the car, or taking the shopping cart and like taking the kid with me and then carrying them. Now, what I do now is I only have one little one now. Okay, so now it's easier. But with one little one, then I will, like if Mila's in the cart, I will take it to the cart return and then pick her up and put her in the car after I've unloaded everything already.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a little iffy as like a woman in a parking lot. I don't know. Like I've learned how to do it now, but there was a time where sometimes I would leave it because I didn't feel safe and I wasn't sure how to like navigate the logistics of that.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right. Fair enough.
It is what it is. But yeah, I agree. I think it's rude. And if people don't do it, shame on them. They should.
You're next.
Well, the perfect timing, because my next one is you backing into parking spaces.
I should have known that was coming.
Mm-hmm. You should have.
Okay.
First of all, I think that most men do it.
I don't care if it's...
I don't understand it.
Okay, it's fine. I'll be happy to explain it.
I know. And let me give you your explanation first, and then you can give your thoughts. Your explanation is... Pause here, guys, because we have a little one coming. Okay. All right. Let's resume. Sorry about that, guys. A little bit of a jump cut there, but okay. Your reason is because it's faster for you getting out.
That's correct.
But it's slower for you getting in. It takes you longer to back into a space than it does to pull into it forwards.
I don't really know that it does.
It does.
I think it really depends on the type of vehicle you're in.
I don't know. I think you have to really maneuver.
Because in that Honda I'm in, which is the small car, I can literally zip in and back right on in that thing.
You can do the same thing in like forward.
Yeah, but then I have to sit there when I'm trying to leave and everybody else is trying to leave at the same time. I then have to slowly back up and I sit there.
I don't get it. Like, that makes no sense. You have to wait on them regardless, whether that's behind or in front.
The camera too is just, it has sensors. It helps me see all back there too.
Yeah, but again, none of this is saving you time.
It is.
No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to time it. Let's do a time trial.
It is. Saves
Now,
me.
I have backed into spots very rarely because I drive an Expedition Max. And there are times where that is the only way I'm getting into a space, if I'm in a parking deck or something like that. And in that case, it saves me time parking, because otherwise I'm going to have to do a 35-point turn just to get in. But that is not the scenario I'm talking about. You back into every single parking space, no matter what.
That's correct.
You could have a completely empty parking lot and make 3 extra maneuvers with your vehicle just to back in.
No, if I had a completely empty parking spot, I wouldn't back up. I would just pull forward to where I was, facing.
But that takes longer.
No, it wouldn't. Not if it's empty.
Takes longer. Takes longer.
Mm-mm.
It's a quick swing to the parking, like pull right in, versus pull forward and then back up with the camera. And admittedly, when you're doing this and you have the camera, you are backing up into that space slower than you would be if you are zipping into it with an empty parking lot.
I don't know, that camera and then the way that it shows you, like, your angle, the way you turn. No, I don't think so.
100% takes
and
longer.
Guess what? It's never going to change.
I know, and it drives me crazy.
So it will never
You like to
change.
back into parking lots or parking spaces like you like to back into other things.
I have no idea where that's going.
In the bedroom.
Okay.
I just really wanted to make that joke.
Okay.
I had that one planned.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Men like to, yeah. So
Okay.
Same thing with the cars.
Okay.
Right?
I have no idea. You tell me. You obviously know.
Is that what it is? You just come from behind with the car and
No, I told you it's easier for me with the car. It's easier for me with the car.
Is it easier for you? Never mind. Okay, let's move on. You're next.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. People who use speakerphones in public.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts. I don't know why. I don't get it. It makes no sense.
It makes no sense why it drives you nuts or why they do it.
No, it makes no sense why they do it. Like you take the phone, you put it up to your ear, you hear it. Nobody else hears that conversation. You can still hear. I don't understand that. Like
what if they want people to hear their conversation?
Maybe it's for attention. I don't know.
Could be.
And if it is, then I don't know.
What if they are multitasking and don't have earbuds?
They don't need earbuds. You literally pick the phone up.
No, I know. I'm saying, what if they're multitasking and need both sets of hands? I'm thinking of a scenario like in the airport or something.
Where's the phone going to be if you need both hands?
Sitting on your suitcase or something.
Why?
I don't know. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just wondering if that's a scenario where it's it's expected.
I just don't get it. I mean, I guess like nowadays.
Because like my earbuds, I have earbuds that don't work great with voice, like mic or whatever. They're not good for calling and talking. So I couldn't use earbuds. Like if I'm in an airport, I couldn't use my earbuds to have a phone call.
You could just pick it up and do it.
No, I'm saying earbuds specifically.
Yeah. Well, that's not what I'm saying. The whole point of this is about having a full-fledged conversation in public on speakerphone.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I'm saying.
If you do that, drop a comment and tell us why.
Yeah, I just want to know why. I'm curious because it makes no sense to me. It still drives me crazy, but I don't understand.
Well, that's why also too you see signs in waiting rooms at like doctors' offices and stuff about using the phone. There's like, I think there's a bleed over there with HIPAA. Now, granted, I guess if the person's on the phone and is like on speakerphone or even just like on the phone and there's people talking in the waiting room, then that, like, I don't know how HIPAA like there works. I just know that they always say on the sign, doesn't it say something like for the privacy of patients or something like that? Please refrain from using phones in the waiting room.
I have no idea. I don't remember.
It says something about that in the therapy office. We'll have to look at the sign next time.
I don't have a clue. I don't know. I'll look at it, but
yeah. If there's any HIPAA experts listening, tell us.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just use that as an excuse to ask people not to talk on their phones in the waiting room.
Maybe. It's probably because, other people were
annoyed
right
by
next to you and get annoyed. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, your turn.
I mean, I have FaceTimed full-fledged in the airport many times.
Okay.
But I usually turn the volume down a little bit to try not to bother people.
Okay. Well,
and it's short. It's short. And it's usually just because we're about to get on an airplane and one of the kids is like, I don't know, looking out the window at the airplanes and wants to talk to my mom.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine, but there's ways to do it.
Yeah. I don't have like full-fledged conversations.
Yeah.
Because I know it's annoying and I cut it short. Okay. Mine is next. It's a little more serious. You're guilty of this, but it's not directed at you necessarily. But when people refer to, and I mean like friends or anybody in our life, my spinal leak and everything that happened there as back problems. You did it the other day with your dad on the phone. Yeah, you said when Rachel had her back problems.
Okay.
Bugs me a lot.
Why?
Because you don't intend to do this. Like you're not intentionally downplaying it, but it does downplay it because there's two separate things. I have very real back problems. I fractured my back, obviously, as we know, when I was 17. So I have chronic pain and whatever from other issues from that. That's back problems. The spinal leak is brain. That's why it bothers me because it has nothing to do with my back. It's an injury that happened to the back. Well, in my case, you can get a spinal leak from fracturing your skull, but whatever. In my case, it happened in my back, injury-wise, but it is fully brain. Like the symptoms of it and what makes you disabled from it are because your brain doesn't have enough fluid around it.
Right, but the problem was the back, not the brain.
No,
Like,
the problem was the brain.
no. I know it caused the brain.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, though, originally,
I hadn't, but yeah,
it started with the back.
But no, back problems. That's it. The period of time where I was bedridden and really disabled was not back problems.
You're saying your back didn't hurt at all during that time?
Actually, no, because I'd had an epidural.
Yeah, but it wasn't done right.
No. No. It was correct. She injured me, but the medicine still got where it got. So I actually didn't really have that much back pain at that time. I'll never do it again. I'll never have another epidural again because for me, it's no longer safe or whatever. Like, I don't trust it. And no way, Jose. But like, no, my back didn't hurt at that time. It had nothing to do with my back. Nothing at all.
Well, when I discuss it, I'm not going that deep. Like, if
well,
it's
then
on a
you could
phone
just
call
start.
like that,
could you just start referring to it as spinal leak?
Sure. I mean, if it's that big of a thing.
I mean, I think just because. I think the reason it bothers me is because when someone says back problems, and then we're talking about a period of time where I was bedridden for 4 months, like that, it makes me feel like, well, does the other person think I'm being extremely dramatic because we're calling 4 months of disability back problems? Does that make sense?
No.
Like, back problems.
Maybe I'm just not getting it. I don't know. I look at it as like a general encompass of like everything. It's just easier for me to say that than try to go in and, oh, well, it's a spinal leak and this is what caused
I don't
it.
think,
and then, it's like I don't.
I think the reason it bothers me is the timing. Like, it happened right after your stroke. So you became my caretaker. And I hated that, still feel guilty about it, still feel embarrassed about it. So when it's referred to as back problems, I feel like it amplifies this perception that I was being weak or selfish when in fact it was brain. So I think if people have a better understanding of the fact that it was brain, it makes more sense that my husband, who just had a stroke, had to help take care of me. I could have pushed through pain, even severe pain, and never made you the caretaker. Does that make sense? So it was a timing.
I don't know that you could have done that.
Oh, yeah, I could have. Yeah.
I don't know.
No, maybe. Yeah, I would have. I mean,
I don't think it has anything to do with the pain, though. It's not that it by me saying that I'm calling you weak or
no. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying I fear the perception of the person that's hearing that information because they're going to think, oh, back problems. And
well, we did an episode on that, did we not? That explained it?
Yeah. I'm talking about when someone else is.
Well, but Dad already knows, so it's not like I had to go into the specific details of it with him.
No. I know that. I'm not explaining this very well.
I mean, it's okay. I didn't explain. Like,
I just want people to like anyone that is hearing about it, I want them to understand you had to become my caretaker out of necessity, not because I was being selfish or weak, but because my brain didn't have enough fluid around it. That's it.
Okay.
If it was just pain, I would have pushed through it, but it was so much more than that.
That's fine.
Does that make sense?
It does. I just have a hard time understanding how that relates to me just saying the back problems.
Because back problems, most people assume when you say back problems, you're talking about pain. Because
that could mean a numerous
amount
of things.
But in my case, people in our lives know that I do have back problems. So when you say back problems, they're assuming it's related to my existing back problems, but it was very much different, very separate from that. Caused by that, started with that,
right? But
became something entirely on its own.
Right, yeah, but I wasn't trying to go into.
I know you weren't. I'm not saying you were trying to do anything. I just want people to. I never want someone to think that I put that burden on you because I could not push through pain.
I don't feel like it was put on me.
I know you don't.
I know that, but
I don't want people to think that.
Well, they can go listen to the previous episodes. That's my answer to them.
I think if you just say spinal leak, it's a cleaner way of explaining it.
If that's what you want me to call it going forward, that's easy enough.
I would appreciate it.
Like, I just don't.
I would. No, it would mean a lot to me.
Okay.
If you did.
All right.
Whether you agree with that or think it's overkill or not would mean a lot to me.
It's fine.
Okay. Just because I struggle a lot with the guilt over that whole time.
I don't know why, but okay.
I just do.
Like, I did what I had to do.
No, I know. But you shouldn't have had to do it.
Again, like I talked about, and I didn't do a great job of explaining myself in the previous thing about, you know, the victim mentality stuff. I didn't do a great job explaining that. Again, that it happened.
Mhm.
We make a choice, we pick up, we do it.
Yeah, I know.
That's all.
I know.
Not revel in the problems, because it would have been easy to do that.
Yeah.
It would have been very easy for me to say, "Holy crap,
But as
I
your
gotta
wife,
do
do you
all
not
this."
understand that my instinct is in a time like that to take care of you?
Yes, and I appreciate
why.
it, but it just wasn't possible.
I know, which is why I feel guilty.
Shouldn't. It's not anything that could have been helped. It's not like it was done
No.
purposely,
No.
or anything like that. So that just.
I'm not saying it's okay that I feel guilty or it's right that I feel guilty. I'm just saying I do.
Okay.
Need to work through that in therapy.
Yeah, you shouldn't. It's all
But
good here.
I know that.
So
I don't think it's all good with everyone else. But let's move on.
Okay, I don't know.
Who's up?
I don't know. I've got.
You're up.
I am. Okay, this is my last one, right? It is.
Yeah.
Leaving a mess for the next guy.
What does that mean?
And I'll go into that. I have always.
Is this about to be a rant?
Well, I'm just trying to give an example. Like for instance, if you're at work and you're printing out hundreds of pages of stuff, and you're in an environment where other people rely on it, right? Just to be nice, and if the paper goes out, not to just leave it blank, like put more in it, like help the next person, like just to be. I guess that's kind of leaving your mess. Like if you print out a bunch of stuff in the copier jams and you just leave it, like,
or if you stay at someone's house and you don't put it back the way you found it.
Yeah, like I guess my thing is just that drives me crazy, because it doesn't take a lot to be nice, and it doesn't take a lot to go a little bit kind of. And I guess you probably see a pattern, like going back through those when I was thinking about this kind of stuff. Like my brain was like, wow, it's literally like I have like a thing. It's just being nice, just kind of going over and above to try to help people. And it's just, to me, I don't know, it's just something easy to do. You know?
Think maybe they just don't think about it?
I don't know.
I don't think everyone's intention is just like, I don't care about the next guy. I think they're just not thinking about it.
I'm not saying that they have negative intentions there.
Yeah.
But I think also too, though, that if you think about it, and this maybe pops in your head, if you're doing something and something like breaks or just jam, like not necessarily breaks, because I mean there's sometimes where things, you're in the middle of something and something may break and you have to call somebody to do it. But I mean something as simple like, it goes back to the shopping cart. When you're moving a shopping cart, put it into the space. Don't put it into a parking spot that somebody could pull and park in. You know, if a printer jams, like take the jam out, clear it, and have it ready for the next person.
So
because what I mean by that is that I look at it like you never know the type of day that someone else is having. So it may not be a big thing you think at that moment, but if you go ahead and just do it, you never know what that may do down the line. I don't know, just to help somebody else. And
so I'm gonna call you out on something fun.
Okay.
The toilet paper.
What about it?
Refill it when you empty it.
I just did today.
That you don't usually.
I do. I do. I have before, absolutely.
And I have a photo in my phone of when you just take, instead of taking the time to take the toilet paper, the used roll off and put it in the trash, you took the new roll and just popped it on the top, like you just set it there on top.
I don't know.
Or like shaving over the sink and you don't clean up your whiskers.
I did today and I cleaned them.
That's good. I'm glad I'm training you.
Okay. That's all. That's all I mean. I just helping the next person. Don't leave a mess for someone else is really all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think with work too, that could be a valid thing too. A lot of people present product that they've worked on that requires cleanup for the next guy.
Yep.
I think a lot of people just don't take a lot of pride in their work.
Maybe not. And that may be a different conversation with it, but I don't know.
Or a lot of pride in how they're even perceived necessarily.
Yeah.
Like I joke, not joke. I've said on this podcast before a couple times, I don't care about what people think about me. I do care about how I treat people. With that being said, I'm sure, I know there's been times where I didn't clean up after myself for the next guy. Not talking about like within the house necessarily, because we know like you've already called me out on that with cooking or whatever, but it's never intentional for me specifically. I'm never thinking I'm going to just leave this a mess for the next person or this person's going to clean it up for me. I'm just genuinely not thinking about it.
And maybe again, I should clarify, because I guess I don't do a good job at clarifying really what I'm asking when I say
No,
that.
I think you did a good
Well,
job.
I don't know if I did, because I mean, I do need to specify, like, if you know better, just do it. Like, if you know better, do it. If you don't, that's one thing, right? You may not know. Like,
what if you're ADD like me and you just genuinely, it doesn't pop into your head at all?
I don't
like
know.
Nothing.
I don't know.
Doesn't cross my mind.
I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't, though, I guess.
Because my brain is on to the next thing. So there are plenty of instances where, I don't know, like even if I'm not cooking something complicated, if I'm cooking something basic and I, leave an empty can on the counter.
Okay.
It literally, like if I leave it there, 99% of the time, it never entered my mind to put it in the trash.
All right. So let me ask this then. If that's the case, and you're cooking, you've got an empty can that you leave there, and it's left there, and you may forget about it at that moment, but I know you come back downstairs at some point. If that can is still there, are you saying at that point?
No, I mean, I'd usually pick it up. Yeah.
Do you though?
I mean, I try to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then that's fine.
I'm not perfect at it.
No one is. I don't expect perfection. No one does. Nobody can be perfect.
But I don't know that I necessarily like scan the counter and think I left that out and that out and that out and I'm going to pick them up and put them away.
But that's okay. Like I get that. Like your mind may go immediately to the different things.
I've done
it. I've done it before at work too. Like if I'm in the middle of printing 100 different copies.
You leave stuff out all the time in this house.
If I'm in the middle of printing out 100 different copies at work and there's a phone call that's coming through and I got to answer it and I got to jump on it, sure, that thing's in the middle of doing what it has to do. If it breaks down, whatever else it is, then I come back to it and I fix it later on. So I'm not saying that like
when you
there's
start
not situations.
When you empty the soap dispenser, will you please start refilling it instead of just putting the jug of Dawn on the counter?
Yeah, if you'll tell me where the soap is. Like, you mean for like the kitchen, or are you talking about our bathroom?
I'm talking about the kitchen.
Oh yeah, I can do that. That's easy.
Because
I've done it before. I've done it plenty of times.
Yeah, but most of the time you don't.
Well, most of the time it's not empty.
But it's okay. Something can bother you and be a pet peeve that you are also sometimes guilty of yourself.
Yeah, I'm not
totally
perfect. Fine. Again, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I am.
Oh, baby, I know you are not.
Okay, well, thank you. Appreciate it.
I probably have, consummated my relationship with the covers when I've rolled over, maybe. Let's wrap this up because she's going crazy and our 15-year-old has failed to contain her.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry about the background, guys. It is what it is. Don't click out of this video just yet. Sorry, you can listen to the kid and also look at our socials down below. We've added one. We're now on Substack, writing a couple of things. And yeah, share this with anybody that you think it might help. If you would please leave a review on Apple. It helps push our podcast out there. So reviews on Apple are everything. If you are not subscribed on any platform you are listening to, please subscribe. It is free and we make content for you. We post weekly, ideally Monday, sometimes Tuesday. That's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Thanks.